Personal injury doctors, whether you're a chiropractor, orthopedic surgeon, physical therapist, interventional pain doc. If you're a provider in the PI space, this is the live stream you need to be at. We're here every Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern, to give you the best methods, the fundamentals of personal injury marketing. So my name is Mark Slater. I've been a chiropractor in the personal injury space going on 25 years. All I've done is personal injury. When I opened up my first practice in Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama, they said, it's a good old boy network. You're not going to be successful here. All the attorneys already have their networks. Don't even bother. I didn't listen to any of that. This was back in like 2000. We didn't have these. Yeah, we had them, but they looked like bricks, right? They looked like bricks. Phones, right? Email had just started. Internet wasn't even invented yet. And there was no social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. It wasn't there. So I had to market in my shoes, right? I went in, and before I even opened, I talked to 1,000 people. I'm not kidding. My consultant wanted me to talk to 3,000, but I only did 1,000. I went in concentric circles around my office, knocked on neighborhoods, residences, businesses, and I also started talking to personal injury attorneys. One-on-one, not Zoom calls, because there was no Zoom, face-to-face meetings with attorneys, letting them know I focus on PI, let's get a relationship going. And that was 20 years ago. When I opened up that Birmingham office, I sold it 2 years later for a big multiple. It's now Oxmoor Chiropractic. Taylor Flanagan is the chiro there, and he's still there. I sold it in like 2002, and I bought a practice in 2003 here in Atlanta, all personal injury. It was integrated with an MD. So the MD did all the work, the diagnosis, the treatment plans. We had nurses that would do all the therapies, the physiotherapies, take the x-rays. Well, I took the x-rays, but they would do all the modalities. I was in growth mode. And by growth mode, I understood two things. I understood personal injury is a numbers game. Here in Atlanta, there's probably 6,000 personal injury attorneys. So my ass was out in the streets, knocking on doors, walking into law firms, taking them to lunch, going to events, right? Doing it the slow way, but it worked. We were getting 30, 40, 50 new PI patients every single month in that practice. I sold that practice in 2016, and I had a med spas. I sold those too, and I got recruited and hired by one of the largest spine surgery groups in the Southeast. He wanted me to coach their 5 liaisons to get him to 200 new personal injury patients per month. This doctor understood, he understood his numbers. He knew that 7% of personal injury cases were surgical candidates. He was a spine surgeon. So in order to find people that required surgery, he knew he needed a big sample size of personal injury patients to have people that would need a surgical consult, right? So 200 was the goal. He had never done that before. We did it twice in my tenure, 200 new personal injury patients per month. This doctor had never done 24 spine surgeries in a month. Within 4 months that I was there, he did 30 spine surgeries in a single month. That's how he got to pay for his jet, his fancy car, and all the other things that he spends his money on. Okay, so, and it was 2 things: massive numbers and consistency. Marketing in that practice was non-negotiable. All of those marketers had to go out and hit a certain number of contacts per day in the field, whether it was a doctor, chiropractor, or an attorney. They had a certain number a day they had to hit to keep their job per day. It was non-negotiable. And so that is how we were instrumental in generating 200 new personal injury patients. They had a real crappy rule when I first got there. It said you have to bring in 20 new PI patients per month to keep your job. And that's why they were stuck. Because if it's March 23rd and you brought in 20 PI patients, the 20th got referred in today, I guess I'm going to take a week off. I hit my number, so I'm done. So we got rid of that rule. You got to make a certain amount of contacts every single day, non-negotiable. And that's how you do it. That's how you build a personal injury practice. You are in constant and consistent pursuit of your goals. That's how top entrepreneurs do it. That's how top business owners do it. You want to be in the top 10%? Constant and consistent pursuit of your goals. So that's what I teach my members. And we're going to talk about the 3 core drivers to get more personal injury patients into your practice. So if you're in the live stream and you're here, give me some likes, give me some loves, let me know you're here. You can ask a question. I'll check in the comments, but here we go. So with that said, I'm going to tell you the 3 core drivers of personal injury patients in 2023. The first one is you have to have a social media plan, right? We have the power of social media now. We can reach out to people on social media and get in conversations with them. Because let me show you something. Well, I don't want to show you, but what I want to tell you is that email marketing is dead. You send out 100 emails, you're lucky if 15 of them get opened, right? So we do it in a specific, unique way. We don't use email, we don't use mailers, and we don't cold call. We do it with the power of messaging. And this allows you to reach out to 50 to 1,000 attorneys per month, get in conversations. They're guaranteed to see your message. They can't delete it without seeing it, but they're going to see it. And it's hard to delete it, but they're going to see it. And here's the thing. These attorneys are looking for you. I got news for you. No one's coming to save you. No one is going to magically Google you and get you to 20 PI patients a month. Never gonna happen. Maybe once in a blue moon, maybe you get struck by lightning too. But if that's what you're relying on to grow personal injury practice, it's just not gonna work. You gotta take a proactive approach. So having a social media plan allows you to do this because let me tell you what it also does. The pandemic taught these attorneys a very valuable skill. It taught them how to Zoom. They're doing Zoom deposition, Zoom bench trials, Zoom court hearings. Zoom is here to stay. You can now ask attorneys to hop on Zoom calls because I only eat lunch once a day if I'm lucky, but I can do multiple Zoom calls a day if I'm a practicing doctor. 15-minute break, 10-minute break here. I can schedule it. Don't schedule patients during that 15-minute time and start an introductory conversation with attorneys. So that's the first pillar, is have a social media plan to generate Zoom calls, lunches, and meetings with the people that are going to be referring patients to you. That doesn't cost you a single dime. It's free. That's why it should be non-negotiable, because it's right here at your fingertips, literally at your fingertips, that you can reach out to attorneys on social media and start getting in conversations and start getting referrals. You can even start doing it today. You don't need a certification. You don't need anyone's permission. You can just do it. Now, there's a specific way to do it in an order of operations for it to be really successful, but no one's stopping you from reaching out to personal injury attorneys today through the power of social media, getting in conversations and letting them know you're the right doctor for their clients in your area. Okay. The second pillar of good personal injury marketing for doctors, and you want to scale to that next level, maybe you're getting 10, 20 PI patients a month through Doctors on Liens or some other network that's generating PI patients for you. Well, that's great, but you're never going to get more than 15 to 20 a month because they got other doctors they're sending patients to as well. So until you take the bull by the horns and do this yourself for your own practice, you're going to be stuck at that ceiling if you're relying on a third party to generate leads for you. So the second pillar is hiring, training, coaching, and optimizing a dedicated personal injury marketing liaison specifically for your practice. So that while you're busy taking care of patients in your office, what you were trained to do, you have a marketer walking into law firms, urgent cares, general practitioners, primary care doctors, and setting up lunches and Zoom calls while you are taking care of your patients. Because when you're in that room, on that adjusting table, or in that exam room with a patient, you are not marketing. But if you have somebody in the field, in the market, talking to attorneys, letting them know you focus on personal injury, we're going to talk about this third pillar in just a second, which is crucially important. But having a dedicated marketing liaison is going to increase your revenue 20, 30, 40, even 50% within 90 days to 6 months. If they do it right, if they're trained, if they know the questions to ask, and if they know how to handle objections. So the first one is having a social media plan. Number two, a dedicated personal injury marketing liaison who's trained, knows every service and modality that you offer, and knows how to do this third thing. And that third thing is understanding how to communicate with attorneys. Knowing what the value drivers are that your doctor can provide or that you can provide as a doctor or a chiropractor, when you know those value drivers, attorneys will listen. When I talk to doctors on initial conversations and I ask them, why would an attorney want to send you a client? It's like the first time they've ever spoken to a human being. Like they've never thought they were going to get that question before. You got to know your risks. You got to be able to spit out 2, 3, 4, 5 benefits of them sending clients to your practice. Now, when I say benefits, how are you going to benefit the attorney or even the general practitioner or the primary doctor? If you walk into a primary care doctor's office and go, hey, I know you don't take medical legal cases, MBAs. I'm the chiropractor right up the street. We focus on personal injury. Send us some personal injury. Send us your car accident patients. You know why that doesn't work? Because they've heard it before. They've already had tons of chiropractors or doctors that do personal injury walk in there doing just that. There's a specific way to do it. You got to add value to them first, right? Are you starting to pick this up? You can't walk into these places and act like a beggar. You got to add value. So knowing how to communicate the value drivers of your practice. What is your point of differentiation? Maybe you know what your point of differentiation is. Or maybe you have one in your practice, you're just not aware of it because you've never thought about having a point of differentiation. So what is a point of differentiation? What makes you so special and different amongst all the other providers and chiropractors that are asking this attorney for relationships and to send them clients? What's your point of differentiation? Why are you so special? Well, so here are some ideas. This is huge right now. You have a TBI protocol. Can you have a patient fill out a questionnaire to potentially diagnose a concussion? And do you have a TBI protocol if they do potentially have a concussion? What do? Do you have a TBI protocol in your office where you run some type of test and have it interpreted by a medical neurologist? Or do you just farm it out and send it out to a medical neurologist? Well, if you do that, that's good. Well, I don't want to get into a TBI protocol discussion, but that's a huge value driver. A person with a moderate to severe TBI or concussion can add 6 figures to the attorney's settlement ask, demand letter. You think an attorney would like to hear that you know how to generate a 6-figure demand letter for an attorney? Huge value driver. Do you have the ability to diagnose ligamentous instability? It's easy to diagnose a disc, a protruding disc or bulging disc on an MRI, but that's just one ligament of the motion segment. There's 20 ligaments in a motion segment. So if you have the skills to take objective x-rays and objective findings to diagnose ligamentous instability is a big value driver because ligamentous instability, some doctors call it ligament laxity. I talk to attorneys, they hate that term because in a courtroom, laxity sounds like it's relaxed, it's chilling out at the pool, it's having a Mai Tai and, you know, with its sunglasses on. Ligament instability is what people understand. So ligamentous instability left untreated can cause long-term disability of the patient. And if you quote a medical journal, my clients know how to find that information like that. You don't have to search through medical journals, like they know how to find it just like that. Well, now you have a case that the adjuster has to address ligament instability through C4, C5, through your objective findings, flexion extension x-rays, cervical lumbar, you get the drill. But what is your point of differentiation? It doesn't really even have to be clinical, right? Maybe you're a Seattle chiropractor and you're the official chiropractor for the Seattle Sounders soccer team. Some of these attorneys have kids that love soccer. They'd love to talk about that. That's a point of differentiation. Maybe you're the chiropractor for Live Nation concerts in your area. So every time a concert comes into town, you know, Aerosmith, Foo Fighters, Beyonce, Justin Bieber, whatever, Counting Crows, they ask, hey, can you come? The dancers, the musicians, and the acts, they need a chiropractor before the show. That's a point of differentiation as well. What's going to make you stand out and be different amongst all these other doctors reaching out to attorneys saying, hey, send me your clients. I'm a chiropractor. We focus on PI. Okay, well, why should I send you my clients? I'm a nice guy. You got to know your point of differentiation. You got to understand value drivers, and you got to know how to communicate to attorneys. And attorneys want to know this, want you to understand this one other thing as well. They want you to quarterback the case for them. Attorneys hate quarterbacking the case, meaning if you can't get their client out of pain in 30 or 60 days, you should make a proper referral to a medical specialist. Do you have relationships with medical specialists where you can quarterback the case and communicate to the attorney and make sure they have a good relationship with the doctor that you want to make a referral to? Because if you send a client that they sent you to treat to a doctor they hate or don't have a good relationship with, or burn them in the past or something, they have a disconnect, no more client, no more patients for you. So the third one's really important, but let's review. Have a social media plan. We're gifted with the ability now to reach out to 500 to 1,000 personal injury attorneys and doctors every single month through social media and get in conversations and ask them to hop on a Zoom call. Second, having a dedicated personal injury marketing liaison who knows everything about you and your business, knows how to talk the language of personal injury, lien, letter of protection, PIP laws, assignment of benefits, LOPs, med pay. They need to know all that, because an attorney is going to have fun with your marketing liaison if they don't. So having a highly trained personal injury marketing liaison to set up meetings, Zoom calls, lunches for you, that's how you scale your practice and stop relying on third parties like doctors on liens, injury networks, because you're just going to cap out, because those companies have to feed all their clients in your city. So if they get 100 clients that month, you're not getting them all. Because if they have 10 clients, you're getting 10 or 15. They're not going to all be in one, they're going to be all over. Somebody that lives in this part of the city and you're a chiropractor that's over here and they got to drive 30 miles 3 times a week, you're just not going to get that client. It's too far. They're going to miss appointments, gaps in care, and you're going to make no money on that case because the attorney will probably drop it. And these attorneys, sometimes they don't even tell you when they drop the case, and you're contacting the patient and they're like, oh yeah, my attorney, he's not my attorney anymore. And now you got to get the money. It's a mess, right? So be able to manage these cases with good communication with the personal injury attorney. These guys dominate the marketing. They're spending 106 figures a month on marketing. They get all the clients, but they don't have a case without your medical records and your notes. So they got to send these somewhere. And the reason it's not you is because you haven't reached out to them. You got to get out of your comfort zone, reach out on social media, have your marketer. And if you can't afford a marketer, get your ass out there and do it yourself. Get out of your comfort zone, know your risks, understand the benefits and the value drivers you can provide personal injury attorneys. You'll grow your personal injury practice. And you don't have to be perfect, right? Just be above average. Get out there and try. If you don't try, you're guaranteed no referrals. You're guaranteed no personal injury patients. But if you want a systemized way of doing it, click comment marketing under this, and I can reach out to you, and we can set up a call, and I can show you step by step how we do this on social media by having a marketing liaison and knowing how to effectively communicate so that you can get attorneys who get clients that live or work in your area, so that it'll make it a no-brainer for them to send their clients to you, especially if you know your value drivers and if you can add value to the case. If you're just a sprain, strain, whiplash guy and that's all that you have to offer, the attorneys are going to find somebody better. You may start getting some clients, but you're going to lose them to a doctor that has a TBI protocol or knows how to generate value drivers for these attorneys, because that's what these attorneys are looking for. Yeah, some of them are greedy. Some of them are all money, money, money. Well, they want to grow their business too. And they have high overhead. Sometimes they're low on cash flow. It's, don't ever think that, oh, I wish I went to law school instead of chiropractic school, because the grass isn't always greener. Yeah, they may get bigger settlements, but they got to pay a bunch of attorneys. They have lots of overhead. It costs money to go to trial. The grass isn't always greener over there, guys, right? Sometimes I think the chiropractors have it better than the attorneys if you know what you're doing. Okay. So again, if you want to learn more about my process and how to generate 2x, 3x, 5x, 10x more personal injury patients for your practice in the next 3 to 6 months, type marketing in the comment section under this video. I'll reach out to you. We'll get together and we'll start doing, we'll have a chat. I'll do a Zoom call. I'll show you this whole process. And if you want to join me and I can help you build your personal injury practice, let's do it. And if you don't want to do it, I promise you're going to learn so much in that Zoom call. I'm going to add so much value and so many things that you can learn. Even if we don't work together, you're going to get a lot of value out of our Zoom call. So again, my name is Mark Slater, personal injury marketing consultant, going on 5 years now, chiropractor for almost 25 years, all in the personal injury space. My passion is to grow personal injury practices all over this country. I think it's the best way to practice. You generate the most revenue. You can help a lot of people that maybe can't afford care, but they are injured and they need your care. If you don't want to practice personal injury because you don't want to be called an ambulance chaser or you're afraid of what people are going to say, don't book a call with me. I don't care what people say, right? My clients laugh all the way to the bank and their patients love them because they get patients well and they get a steady stream of referrals every single month because they don't care what people think or what their comments are about personal injury doctors. And if you do, that's okay too. It's not for everybody. Personal injury is not everybody's cup of tea. I totally get that. So again, my name is Mark Slater. My company's Prime Spine Consulting. The first thing we can do is get you into this personal injury accelerator program and start getting you some referrals as soon as this week by working on social media. You don't even need a marketing liaison. And then a lot of my top students graduate into the Optimum Personal Injury Mastermind. This is where we collaborate together 3 times a year live and we talk on Zoom calls in between. These guys are exploding their businesses, adding locations, adding staff members, adding services, because all these people in the mastermind, some of them already have it. And so, you know what? We're generating so much revenue. We've already split tested this. We've tested it in the market. It's working for us. We're generating like an extra $300,000, $400,000 a month. Here's the company. Here's our protocol. Just do that. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, people. It's already been invented. Learn from people that are ahead of you. Learn from people that are smarter than you. Have a mentor. You don't have to blaze this trail by yourself. You don't have to go it alone. There's people, doctors are in the market that want to help. These mastermind docs are all over the country, so they're not really competing with each other. And that's why it's so effective, because we can all collaborate and cooperate to grow personal injury practices, know what the trending topics are, and it doesn't even have to be trending. TBI and concussion is not trending. People are going to continue to get concussions from now until the cows come home. So if you have a protocol that's a big value driver from TBI, you're going to get personal injury patients. All right, I'm starting to ramble. I want to thank everyone for attending today's live stream here in the personal injury marketing group. This group is absolutely free. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you're learning a lot. And if you want to book a call with me, comment marketing under this video. Let's hop on a 15-minute chat. We'll talk about PI. If you want to have a Zoom call and see the whole process, let's do it. And if not, that's okay too. Have a great rest of the day, everyone. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you next Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, right here in the group, the Personal Injury Marketing Facebook group. Again, I'm Mark Slater with Prime Spine Consulting. Have a great day, everyone.